the last 2 episodes, I talked about creating a healing cocoon by reducing the negativity around you and intentionally bringing some joy into every day. If you're doing that, you're probably already starting to feel a little shift in your well-being. And I promised to share a radical concept, and that's what this video is about. In episode 1, I talked about reducing mental leaks by limiting your exposure to things like the news, social media, or even friends and family that bring you down or otherwise zap your mental or emotional energy. Well, do you know what else zaps your mental energy? Having an opinion. Yes, even something as seemingly innocuous as formulating an opinion can drain some of your mental energy. Do you know what drains even more energy? Defending your opinion. Of course, you need to have an opinion when you need to make a decision. For example, if you need to buy a new car or plan a vacation, you need to formulate some opinions about the options available. If it's time to vote, you need to evaluate which candidate will best represent your values and priorities. Where action is required, opinions are necessary, but there are many topics that come into our consciousness every day about which we formulate an opinion for no good reason. Think for a moment about your family and friends. Pick one person right now. Do you have any thoughts that he, she, they should do something differently in their lives? Do you have any opinions about their attitude, their health, their job, their parenting, their relationships? What about your neighbors or work colleagues? Any opinions there? World events, politics, religion, crime? Lots of people have lots of opinions about these topics. Maybe you're already formulating an opinion about having opinions, coming up with reasons why you need to have them. If that's you, that's okay. Just hear me out. Here's why I'm talking about this. I started this series by inviting you to create your healing cocoon. When you're experiencing long COVID or any other chronic condition, one of the most important things you can do for yourself is to reduce stress and conserve as much mental energy as possible so you can channel that energy into getting well. One way to conserve mental energy is to release the urge to have an opinion about everything. The Buddha said, "The greatest medicine is the emptiness of everything." The practice here is to clear the mind of issues outside yourself so that you can listen to the wisdom of your own body. What exactly is an opinion? Simply put, an opinion is a judgment about what is right or wrong, good or bad, true or false. We make judgments and formulate opinions almost all day. I couldn't find any stats on how many opinions we make or defend in a day, but a Cornell University study suggests we make an average of 7,000 decisions a day, and I suspect there's some correlation between decisions and opinions. Other sources peg it as high as 35,000 decisions per day. In either case, that's a lot of mental energy. Have any of these opinions ever floated through your mind? She shouldn't be wearing that. I think he's guilty. She needs to quit that job. I don't know what he sees in her. All of these thoughts are clutter in the mind. There's an ancient Zen proverb that says, "If you wish to see the truth, then hold no opinions for or against anything. When thought is in bondage, the truth is hidden, for everything is murky and unclear, and the burdensome practice of judging brings annoyance and weariness. What benefit can be derived from distinctions and separations?" Let's face it, there's enough divisiveness in the world, and stepping away from choosing sides is like choosing to get off the hamster wheel. Think about the stories dominating the news today. Have you generated opinions on those stories? What would happen if you didn't? Does your opinion change anything? For example, will your opinion about whether there's going to be a recession change the facts? Will your opinion whether climate change is man-made or natural actually change your behavior? Wouldn't you like to reduce your carbon footprint either way? When we avoid choosing one side or another on an issue, we remain unburdened and free. Releasing opinions is one aspect of the philosophy of detachment taught by several Eastern religions. The Buddha said, "The root of suffering is attachment." And that includes attachment to thoughts. Eckhart Tolle said, "Non-resistance, non-judgment, and non-attachment are the three aspects of true freedom and enlightened living." Detachment doesn't mean not caring. It means taking care of yourself first and letting others walk their own path without trying to save them or punish them. Take a deep breath and let that sink in. Detachment means taking care of yourself first and letting others walk their own path without trying to save them or punish them. Have you ever noticed that when you're listening to someone, you're often mentally preparing your own response? What would happen if you weren't trying to formulate an opinion? Do you think you might listen more intently? Do you think you might connect more? I have a friend who's a psychotherapist. She once told me that she sometimes says very little to clients during a session, but instead allows them to talk through an issue with only a few prompts from her. What she finds interesting is that these are the clients most likely to thank her at the end of the appointment for a great session, not even realizing that they've guided themselves toward the understanding or solution they were looking for. She simply provides the space for them. It reminds me of the old adage, less is more. What do you think the world would look like if there was more listening and less opinions? Voltaire said, "Opinions have caused more troubles on this little earth than plagues or earthquakes." So that brings me to your mission this week. Your assignment, should you wish to accept it, is this: refrain from having an opinion about as many things as you can. Start by noticing when you're formulating an opinion and ask yourself two things. 1, is this something I need to have an opinion about? In other words, is there a decision I need to make or an action I need to take depending on my opinion? And 2, if the answer is yes, then ask yourself, do I have all the facts I need to make an informed opinion? If you don't have all the facts, there's no need to develop an opinion until you have more information. If someone asks me about a topic I'm not fully informed about, I'll simply say, I don't know. For example, if they ask whether I think someone did this or that, I'll say, I don't know, I wasn't there. In so many cases, the only people who know the full truth of a situation are those who were in the room. Releasing the urge to have an opinion eliminates any need to defend a position. Of course, if it's something that's important to me, I can choose to research the facts around the subject, but even then I can probably still only offer an informed opinion. And except for topics that are highly relevant to my life or require a decision of me, the energy required to get informed is not worth it. My priority needs to be wellness. I first tried this practice years ago and found it really enlightening. I discovered that most of the time I was wasting time and energy formulating opinions that weren't necessary. In other words, the opinion wasn't linked to any decision or action I had to take. Once I got the hang of it, I realized that releasing the urge to have an opinion was liberating. It created space in my mind. I started to bow out of more and more opinions just to notice what it felt like. So if a group of friends were getting together for dinner and asked where I wanted to go, I said, wherever you want, I'm good with it. That was different from the past, when I would feel like I needed to take part in the decision. I found that most things turned out just fine without me chiming in, sometimes even better. I've described this exercise as radical because it requires a major shift in thinking for most of us. The biggest challenge is learning to observe your thoughts and notice when you're making a judgment or forming an opinion. Here's a little trick to help you. For the next week or two, wear an elastic band or bracelet around your wrist, and every time you notice it, let it serve as a reminder to pay attention to your thoughts and try to catch yourself creating or expressing opinions. If you have a friend or partner who's willing to do the challenge with you, that's even better. I always found these challenges more fun if I could do them with someone else, and we could hold each other accountable. Let me know in the comments below what kinds of opinions you discovered that you can let go of, and what this experience was like for you. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about ways to manage your limited physical energy. If you're suffering from daily fatigue, you won't want to miss that one. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Until next time, be kind to yourself and each other.